To Syria now, and the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces say more than 60,000 people, mostly civilians, have fled the Islamic State's last enclave in the eastern part of the country. But thousands more civilians are believed to still be in the region. The mass departures started 2 months ago when the Kurdish-led forces laid siege to the town of Baghouz. An SDF spokesman told journalists that nearly 30,000 militants and their families had surrendered to them. Our correspondent, Guy Henderson, has been keeping a close eye on the situation, and he's with us now from Baghouz. So, Guy, hello to you. We're hearing reports of renewed U.S.-led airstrikes that are targeting that very area you are in there. Any updates on the situation?
Well, just to clarify, Erica, we took the journey north just a few hours ago, back from the front line, Baghouz, to the town further north, Kamishli, just near the border with Turkey. So we're some way away from where those reported airstrikes took place. We do have confirmation that they did take place, though. We've just spoken to a spokesperson from the Syrian Democratic Forces. At least 3 strikes, possibly more, that spokesman confirmed to us. We have no details on what the targets were or any possible casualties. During our time down there, though, one of the things the SDF repeatedly said to us is that they are trying to be as cautious as possible as they proceed, along with their coalition partners who are providing air support in this campaign. Why? That is, they say, because Islamic State is effectively using the people who are still inside Baghouz as human shields. There was a point when we were just 700 meters from the Islamic State positions. We were hiding behind a wall and looking through a hole in that wall, through binoculars, at Islamic State fighters in plain sight, in daylight, and yet they were not being targeted. There was fierce gun battles going on around us, but there were these areas where Islamic State fighters were still standing around in plain sight. We asked the commander, you know, why are those fighters not being engaged? Why are they not being shot at, basically? And he said that is because, to their knowledge, where they are standing in plain sight, they have civilians with them, so it's very difficult to target them. So this is a very delicate last final phase of this operation, if you like, a step-by-step process to sort of slowly grind down that final slither of land, but it's proving extremely difficult.
And let's talk a little bit more about these civilians who fled ISIL's last enclave there. What do we know about any arrangements for them? I mean, how are we ensuring their well-being there?
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason we've come back up to Kamishli now, is to try and see whether there's any hope of getting access to the camps where a lot of those people are being held. We got that update. I think you gave some of the details of the latest numbers coming from the SDF. 29,600 civilians, families of Islamic State fighters mainly, who have come out of that enclave since this operation began. 5,000 fighters who are being held in a separate camp. And the SDF are now saying 67,000 people in total being held, essentially detained in these camps. It is far more than they were originally designed to cater for, and we have now been completely shut out of getting any access to those camps, some of which, as I say, are around this town, Kamishli. So, you know, it's very difficult to find out who exactly is in those camps, you know, what nationality, and also what the conditions of those camps are. We understand that perhaps 20,000 of that 67,000 may have come across the border from Iraq with Islamic State fighters as they drew back into Syria, and that the Iraqi government is now saying they will try and take back those 20,000 people. That is going to be a very difficult, very delicate process, because this is one of the places, Iraq, where there is a concern that Islamic State might be able to regroup. So if Iraq is going to take those people back, it will have to be very certain which of those people pose a threat, which should be detained, which should be released. Perhaps once that process has got underway and some of the pressure is eased on those camps, perhaps then there might be slightly better access to see what's going on inside them, but at this stage very difficult.